What's up, guys? I'm back here with another Unholy guide for you. I've been playing the season now for a couple weeks, and I figured I'd update the Unholy guide for you guys because when I first made the Unholy guide, it was before the season started, so we're gonna have a more relevant one now. And I'll just let you guys know what I've been playing. I'm not off the bat. I'm gonna let you know Unholy is not good at the moment. Bottom line, it's not good. But you can make it work though. To an extent, you can make it work, and I'll help you guys unlock the full potential. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the talents, and then we're going to talk about the PvP talents, and then I'm going to talk about the stat priority, I'm going to talk about how to burst, and we're going to talk about the legendary choice. So let's get into this. First thing I'm going to talk about here is the talent choice. So, on this first row, Infected Claws is more single target PvE. I haven't used it in PvP personally. I don't think it's good in PvP at the moment. On All Will Serve. Again, I haven't seen anyone use this. I haven't used this at the moment. I think the dominating option for the first row here is Clawing Shadows. I've been using it. It seems to be good. It's good. All around it's good. The next row. Bursting Sores, Even Fever, Unholy Blight. So Bursting Sores would be the consistent damage option. This is the PvE for Mythic Plus option. Potentially the single target option as well. From this row, you can either choose Unholy Blight if you want more burst, because Unholy Blight is just a big burst window. It increases the damage to your pets. It's essentially a burst window. In Arena, I use Unholy Blight. In PvE, I use Bursting Sores. Even Fever, I don't use. Maybe in in RBGs, if I want a pad, I would use Even Fever. But in PvP and Arena, I use Unholy Blight. The next row. These aren't viable. The only viable option here is Asphyxiate, okay? The next row. Pestilent Pustules is good. For 2v2s, I've been using Pestilent Pustule. For PvE, I use Pestilent Pustule. I haven't been using Harbinger of Doom at all, because I don't use the conduit for it. Soul Reaper, if you can actually get it to proc and get them to 35% health, it's good. But I find in 2v2, I find this ability like pretty much useless, because you can't really get them to 35% HP without by yourself. If you have a healer with you that does a lot of DPS, you could probably find some success with it. But I think overall Soul Reaper would be better in 3v3s because you can actually get it to proc. You don't have enough damage in 2s to get it to proc, it seems. This next row, you can choose any talent on this row, okay? If you're fighting a caster, I would recommend using Spell Eater. If you're fighting something, if you're trying to like run at a druid and you're going to get rooted, I would recommend Wraithwalk. If you just need a heal, Deathpack. The next row, only play Unholy Pact. It's very good, very strong. Much good. Much good. The next row. So, there's two ways you can play this. You can play Unholy Assault for a big 1.5 minute burst window, or this is what I've been playing recently for 2s. You can play Army of the Damned, and then every time you use your Apocalypse, it'll just summon a Magus instead. So, in combination with Necromancer's Bargain, it makes your Apocalypse only a 30-second cooldown between these two things. So, if you use Army of the Damned with Necromancer, 30-second cooldown Apocalypse, and you can just keep having consistent damage. So either you can do that, or you can play Unholy Assault without the Necromancer's Bargain, and just have like a bigger burst, but on a lot longer of a cooldown. All right. Let's see. So we're gonna talk about the PvP talents now. So Life of Death. When a target's afflicted by your Festering Wound or healed, you are also healed for 10% of the amount. In addition, Virulent Plague now erupts for 400% of normal damage when dispelled. You can use this against like paladins in 2v2s if you want. Honestly, I don't really use it. So, if you're using Army of the Damned in 2s, you don't really want to change Necromancer's Bargain too much. But basically, Abomination is baseline. You never really want to change that. But yeah, so we'll just talk about the rest. Dark Simulacrum. This is a very important talent, okay? This talent is one thing that gives DK a high skill cap, because it's such a versatile ability. It can literally win games for you. So you can play this into Rogue Mage. Like You can play this into anything that has a lot of CC. I would definitely recommend playing this. And you want to familiarize yourself with this spell. Because like I said, it can carry games alone. Like you can steal a polymorph and just win a game off the polymorph alone. Or steal a heal, steal a pain sep. Like, it's just so versatile. It has so many uses. I definitely recommend learning how to use this ability. For sure. So here. Necrotic Strike is terrible at the moment, so you don't use that. Which is part of the reason why Unholy is bad. Reanimation, you can use this if you want. It's kind of like a meme though. They can just kill it. Cavernous Pillar, you don't really need that right now. Decomp Aura is very good. You can switch out Necrotic Aura for Decomp Aura at your choosing. Like I said, Necromancer's Bargain is very good with the Army of the Damned. Transfusion if you need another defensive, but I don't really think it's that good. Dome of Ancient Shadows increases your magic zone from 20% to 80%. So this is very good. If you're to change a talent here, you'd want to change, not that one. You would want to change this one, okay? You can change your Necrotic Aura to whatever. Unless you're playing Unholy Assault, then you can change this one. But that's that for the PvP talents. So, the stat priority. This is an interesting one, okay? Haste isn't very good, right? Because your Necrotic Strike isn't good. So, what you want to do is you want to prioritize versatility, and then you want to prioritize mastery after that, and then haste. And you don't want crit. So, verse, mastery, haste is the current stat priority that you want. Alright? Now, next we're going to talk about damage, okay? I'll show you the most ideal way to do your burst. So this is the perfect world scenario for how you want to do your burst, okay? So you have your pet out. You're going to... I can't do it because I'm in I don't have war mode on, but pretend like Army of Dead. Pretend like my Army of the Dead is my Abomination, okay? So you want to Abomination, Unholy Blight, Dark Transformation, and then Fester to get your wounds, Apocalypse, and then if you have Unholy Assault, you would pop it there. If you don't have Unholy Assault, then that's fine. You already have everything out. And then your pets are just going to do all their damage there. And you just dump your runic power on Death Coil, Death Strike if you need to heal. And yeah, just keep applying wounds, Death Coil, pop your wounds with your Clawing Shadows. And yeah. The only thing about your rotation you want to make sure you do is you don't Fester if they have more than 3 wounds. So if they have 4 wounds, you don't Fester. Remember that. So more than 3 wounds, no Fester. You need to pop the wounds first. So because your Festering Strike applies 2 to 3 wounds. Well, yeah. So that's how you do your burst, okay? And if you're if you're playing Unholy Assault and you want to do a really quick burst, you could just while you're running over them, you can A-bomb Unholy Blight, Dark Transformation, and then Unholy Assault instantly, and Apocalypse. Because a lot of the time, you don't have time to, Fester twice, and then Apocalypse, and then Unholy Assault. Because all your pets are already out, right? So you're wasting a lot of your CDs if you're just sitting there waiting. So you got to play it by ear, depending what you have time for. But the build that I'm playing, this one, you can just, I already have it back, right? So you can just go ahead and just throw your pet out there whenever. Because it's only a 30-second cooldown when you're actually in PvP, because Necromancer's Bargain. The cooldown of your Apocalypse is reduced by 45 seconds, right? So it doesn't show up because war mode's off, but yeah, so you can just keep proccing. Just keep proccing that every 30 seconds if you want to play this build. One other thing that I forgot to go over as well, just to refresh you from the other guide. So you want to use Outbreak. Just all you want to do with your disease is just keep your disease up at all times, okay? Ideally, you want to have your disease up on every single target at all times. So don't push the disease if it's already up, right? Because as well, Unholy Blight and Abomination will put the disease on the target for you. So you don't need to use the disease in the opener if you open with Abomination. Okay, the next thing we're going to run through here is just the runes. It's pretty straightforward here, okay? So you want to use Rune of the Fallen Crusader 99% of the time. The only time you don't want to use this is if you're playing 2v2, and if you're playing 2v2 and you're playing your comp is double DPS, then I would recommend you play Sanguination for the heal. But if you're just playing a damage rune, definitely Rune of the Fallen Crusader is the move. If you're in 3s and you're against double caster and you have an extra weapon, you could throw spell warding on it if you just want to be extra tank versus double caster. But 9 out of 10 times you're going to be playing Fallen Crusader, and I stick to Fallen Crusader myself. So that's that for the runes. Alright, the last thing we're going to speak about today is your legendary, okay? I don't have an Unholy legendary at the moment because I play Frost. Because if you guys remember me telling you, Unholy is bad in every single way right now except for PvE. So I didn't make one. But I do know which one to make though, so I'll show you guys. There's two legendaries that you want, okay? Well, you can choose one of the two. Now, the first one being a Frenzied Monstrosity. So, Dark Transformation also increases the attack speed and damage of you and your monstrosity by 12%. So that's just an extra 12% damage to you and your pet every 1 minute. Just a flat 12%. That is good, okay? That's very good for your burst window. And if you're playing the spec that I'm playing, where you have Apocalypse every 30 seconds, every second Apocalypse is going to be super strong then with this combination. The next legendary the other legendary you could play is Deadliest Coil. Reduces the runic power cost of Death Coil by 10, and Death Coil increases the duration of Dark Transformation by 1 second. This is good, but if you combine it with, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I don't know I don't know where the thing. I don't think I have it. I do not have it. But if you, okay, so if you combine that legendary, the Deadliest Coil legendary, where is it? You combine that with the conduit, it makes it so every time you use Death Coil, the Death Coil hits like 50% harder. You could combine that also with Harbinger of Doom. So your Death Coils will all hit 50% harder, and then, yeah, it's just a lot of damage. And every time you're using Death Coil, it's reducing the cooldown of your Dark Transformation, right? So you'll have your Dark Transformation more often. And Dark Transformation just gives you a flat strength bonus as well. So you could get your Dark Transformation cooldown even shorter, and also your Death Coils reduce the cooldown of your Apocalypse too. So your Dark Transformation would be shorter, your Apocalypse will be shorter. So it's got some crazy synergy. So remember, if you play Deadliest Coil with Army of the Damned, Necromancer's Bargain, and Harbinger of Doom, and just spam Death Coils, and your CDs will be like literally no cooldown. So that's one thing you can do. Either that, or you can play the Unholy Assault build, and you can play with Frenzied Monstrosity. But at the end of the day, you can do any of the things I just told you, and I don't know. Honestly, no matter what you do, Frost is still going to be better at the moment. So, but you can try and make it work if you want. Anyways, that's all for today. So you can catch me at twitch.tv/partywafflesx. And I stream pretty much every single day, usually in the afternoon. But yeah, have a good one, everybody, and take it easy. See you next time.